Hey folks, welcome to the Witchual Workout. I'm Laura Tempest Zakroff. This lump right here, this is Simon. Simon is very happy because today we are doing something a little bit different, as you can tell from the format. We are going to look at our hands. It's Friday, it's a free day. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. And it's good to kind of focus on different parts of our bodies without worrying about sometimes the entire body. Like I definitely want all of you to be able to fully engage your entire body as you're doing ritual, as you're doing magical workings, whatever works to the best of your ability. But sometimes it's important just to narrow in the focus so you don't get overwhelmed. Now, when we are working with our bodies, that last point of departure, if you will, or the first point of reception, it's often right there through the hands. We can definitely grab things through our feet. We will, take the senses in other ways through our ears and our eyes and taste, right? But most often when we're thinking about the whole body, right, you're either directing out, receiving in. So how your hands are positioned can affect the energy. So when I want to direct energy out, right, I will have my palms and my fingers facing out, right, to reach that, so out to you, right? And if I was gathering, I would pull it back to me. And this feels different, so I kind of do with like out, reach out to me, and then back to yourself, right? A little bit different. Why is that? Well, if you think about extending out from the hands, right, you have the nerves that go out from here, right? And nerves are electric, electric pulses run through the nerves. It's how nerves kind of communicate. It's actually in the liminal spaces between the nerves and the synapses. And we can think about, well, that's contained internally, but electricity can travel beyond as well, right? If you've ever been shocked by something, right? Whether that is static in your socks or plugging something in that you shouldn't have, or other variety of things. So if you envision, right, just for the sake of that idea in your head, that visualization, that you extend out past that, then you are able to break that barrier, particularly the mental barrier, and go, all right, what I'm sending out, I see it being sent to that person over there, or this community, this particular object, this environment, to pass out beyond that. So that's one way of looking at it. Other one is, it's just that reach, right? It is an extension through the heart and out, right? Or through the belly and out, or through the mind and down and out. So think about how this feels, right? Versus closed hands, right? A fist, right? That kind of energy suddenly becomes more combative. And the other thing is that you're closing those nerves out. So those little nerve endings go right there to the fingertips. And when you curl back on yourself, those nerve endings go back in, right? So that gathering of energy versus extending out. Also, this way, the back of the hand, right? It's an insult in many ways. There actually is also insults in showing somebody your open palm in different cultures as well, and that's a whole other thing to get into. That's a whole other discussion. But for magical, metaphysical workings in general, right, that this isn't going to send things out unless you finish it up where you're coming from here and out, right? And you should feel that difference of like holding, you're gathering, release. Right? Now, if you're trying to grab something from somebody, without that first reach and then pull, right? Just try to just do this. Like it feels like nothing, but that reach out and pull in feels different, right? You feel that little, there it is. So how that's working is a whole kind of fascinating way to work with energy. There's also the idea of receiving, right, as well as giving. So we tend to see this as also a receiving, as we pull in or to extend out to reach. Because to help somebody, right, you might offer it this way, or do you offer this way to kind of help pull somebody up, right? Like if you're really going to help somebody who needs help standing, words, oh my God, words. It's been a week, right? You tend to like help, right? You can get a little bit more leverage than this way, right? Unless you have them grabbing both of your palms and they get on top and you help lift them that way. So think about leverage, right? How does this work? How does the rest of the body help exchange something to pull somebody up to give something out, right? It's very hard to give something out like this unless you are doing, again, an insult, right? If you actually want to help somebody, right, that reach out. So think about that. And then when the hands come together, right, that is the connection of those nerves, right? That kind of the ouroboros, right? Those ends come together, they meet, and so then there's a different type of cycle, which feels different than this. Think of that. Try that. Feel it here. Feel it here. You can feel it here. Right? Versus here, or here, or here. Very subtle. Definitely worth thinking about because it's these little tiny things, right? As we talked about yesterday with clay, right? It's those little impressions, it's those little imprints that we put on things that can have a long-lasting impact, right? So if we want to direct something out, we should be conscious of how does it feel all the way out to the fingertips, and is this effective, right? And the more that you do this, the more it becomes subconscious, right? That you don't have to be like, oh, I need to put my palms out in order for this to work. It's like, no, if you just let your intuition go and you're like, consciously think about this way, it will happen naturally. But it's good to start with that awareness, particularly if you are, say you're going to go to the lengths of choreographing something, you're working with other people who are new to metaphysics, and say, okay, now we're all going to put our hands out like this, or you're going to have your hand this way, you're going to have your hand this way, this is why we're doing it. Give that people a little bit more context so they know, this is why it works, because so many people don't pay attention to those details. So to wrap this up, let's do it together one more time. All right, let's reach out. All right, think about connecting there. And then pull to the self and connect in the fingertips. And then to the palms, release, scoop, touch, receive, touch the self. Out and in. So I hope this gave you something to think about, to add to your practice. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you on Monday.